Coming up on today's video, some reserve list cards on the move. Let's take a look at some cards you should be watching. Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to my channel, you just found me out there on YouTube, thanks a lot for deciding to check out the content. Hope you stick around till the end of the video for some craziness. Alright guys, on today's video we're going to take a look at some amazing reserve list cards that are on the move, either up, down, or sideways. These cards aren't coming back, and that's why we always keep an eye on them. Let's take a look at card number 1. So when we go back to Ice Age, we start thinking about the horrible lands that they developed for us, and that was called these depletion lands. Lava Tubes is one of those lands. They came into play untapped, but you were only able to use these lands every other turn, because as they tapped, they got a depletion counter that wasn't removed until the following turn. So basically, these were dual lands that you could use every other turn. But depending on how you're playing it today in Commander, this card can be a killer combo, connect the dot card, which will bring you a lot of victory, because there's lots of ways of untapping lands nowadays that can circumvent this rule, making these very affordable types of dual lands, and they're reserve list cards that most people forget about. So for that reason, Lava Tubes is on the list. It did reach a new high back in 2021, but it's been on the decline ever since. You can find this card as cheap as $3.50 Canadian. $2.84 is the average. The market is $2.84 US, and it's €1.75, making this card a steal for those who are after this type of reserve list card. Now, when we're talking Soldevi Golem, I know, right? It's basically a juggernaut from back in the day that didn't untap very easily, but it does have the name Soldevi in it, so it deserves a place on the list today. I can find this card as cheap as $3.50 Canadian for a heavily played copy to moderately played. The average is $17.99, the market is $6.46 US, and it's €2.16 will get you this card. This has been a buyout target for a while. It deserves a place on the list because, again, it is a Soldevi, and although I'm not using this card, obviously somebody's picking up copies. Let's find out what's coming up next. Alright, I know. Be afraid, everyone. This is a Kjeldoran Knight. Kjeldorian, whatever you want to say. Whatever. Guys, it's a hard to pronounce name because I've always hated saying it, but I've always loved the card. This is a 2-white casting with banding, and it's a 1/1. But I love the ability back in the day where it could pump up its attack or pump up defense. Spreading around that damage makes banding a lethal combination and very unexpected in Commander nowadays. So a card like this that can give you some extra abilities for a minimal investment cost of 2 mana, make this a card to watch. It has never been a desirable card, nor do I expect this card to rise in value anytime soon, but it does have high sales. People have been buying this card probably as a little sideboard fun add-on type horror from Ice Age that people forget about, and for that reason and the banding, the Kjeldoran Knight has made the list. Keep it up, big guy, because at $2.50 Canadian, $2.22 US is the average. The market is $2.01 US, and €1.88 gets you this card, meaning this is not the cheapest reserve list card out there. It's not expensive, but it's not exactly cheap. People are buying this card, and probably a few people are using it. Now, Illusionary Presence. This card actually was deadly back in the day. It's a 3 casting cost 2/2, but every turn you could pick what kind of land walk ability it had. Now it did have a cumulative upkeep, making it pretty scary, but there are ways of phasing things out and making it kind of nightmarish for people to kill this card. So don't underestimate cards like this when you see them. They can be broken, they can come back to haunt people, and people just forget about cards like this from Ice Age. So at $1.80 Canadian, it's a very affordable card. The average is $2.23 US. The market is $2.02, very similar to each other. It's €1.64 gets you this card, and you can see on the last little spike there, early 2021, where it reached just above $4. Now it's back down to the $2 mark. It's a steal, and of course that artwork, epic. All right, guys, let's check out what's coming up next. Braingeyser, can you believe it? This card has never left everyone's beautiful vision of what we think about when we draw cards. As a revised list, unlimited, and of course beta and alpha, this card has been off the list of buy cards for a long time. It hasn't been reprinted, it hasn't been coming back other than a collector edition copy. You can find this card for as cheap as $25 Canadian. $35 Canadian for a moderately played, and $50 Canadian for a near mint copy. That's revised. That's still pretty affordable. The average is $38.07 US. The market is $35.97, and it's €22.40. What I find interesting is it is target player. So it can be your opponent or you. And there's lots of ways of still using this card, even at sorcery speed. The artwork, of course, is epic. We know it's never getting back again. This is why people go after these types of cards. And as it continues to fall, the reason I'm putting this card up there today is the sales have been increasing and the heavily played copies being sold, which means near mint copies at $50 may actually go down a bit. And if you're a collector or investor trying to get your hands on a card like this, you might want to end up going for a near mint copy just because, yes, it's double the price from a heavily played, but there's so few of near mint copies available that most people forget about it. For that reason, Braingeyser is on this list and it isn't going anywhere. Let's take a look at our next card, which is Winter's Chill. Now, this card is very interesting from Ice Age. It is a removal spell, but most people forget about it. At $8 Canadian for a near mint copy, the average is $5.24 US. The market is $2.94. €5.48 gets you this card. But what I find interesting is Winter's Chill is a blue removal. Now, opponents can pay to keep stuff going and keep their cards alive, but if they are unprepared and do a massive attack and you played this card, you can mess up everything they're doing because they're not expecting a blue board wipe of this nature. It isn't unsummoning it, it is wiping the board clean. Guys, keep an eye on this card. Although your opponent can keep their cards alive by paying mana, you've just got to wait for the right opportunity, and this blue chill spell will mess people up. That's right, Winter's Chill is putting the chill on the opposition. All right, now we're taking a look at the Halls of Mist from Ice Age. This artwork has always been amazing. I've always enjoyed looking at it. It kind of reminds me of like the good old movie of Clash of the Titans with Karan, right? And like the hall where he like takes the dead people in, just waves his hand, his bony hand. It's got that kind of feel to it. Now, it's only $3.75 Canadian. The average is $5.75 US. The market is $5.48. And it's €4.01 will get you this card. What I find interesting is, remember, no creature can attack if it attacked during its controller's last turn. Depending on how you use this card with Time Elementals or Apprentice Wizards, whatever you want to do with the combination to unsummon, bring it back, you can make sure opponents are messed up for an every other turn attack, giving you time to breathe. This is part of killer combinations that can happen all the time. Be aware of land cards like this. When you've got Yavimai's Cradle of Growth and you've got the Tomb of Yawgmoth, there are ways of even getting these things to produce mana nowadays, and that's what people forget. They don't have to be a non-mana producing land. For that reason, you've made the list, you've made the cut. It's amazing to see the Halls of Mist. Ice Age, man, what can you say? All right, Plateau Revised Edition. That's right, $310 Canadian, heavily played copy, but you can find them for under the $400 mark. The average is $341.99 US. The market is $352.92 US. And the European average is €186.59 will get you that card. This card has continued to slowly rise up as it catches up to other dual lands. The dual lands are the epitome of the perfect type of land production from back in the day. There's a reason why they've never reprinted them. They're beautiful. They're epic. They're just so nostalgic to have. And as these get harder and harder to find, I can't keep reiterating the point. Who cares if it's heavily played? If you want a copy for yourself, for a commander deck, for a vintage, for a legacy, this is your opportunity to grab these type of cards as they're slowly being eliminated from the market. Take the opportunities as they come along because they're not there forever, guys. Eventually, you're going to be finding these things for $1,000. Remember that. Scary, scary stuff. And that's revised. I haven't even mentioned the unlimited alpha or beta copies. Keep that flowing. All right, guys. We've got Blaze of Glory. Now, the reason I'm putting Blaze of Glory on there today is because of the fact it's had heavy sales in the last little while in the edition of collector. So collector edition copies of this card have been selling heavily because some copies are going for 17 to 25 bucks, okay? For near mint copies. They're selling, and they're selling well. Unlimited copies can be found for 100 bucks. This never came out in revised. So you can see there at $100 Canadian versus $25, and Blaze of Glory can be a good card. You can force opponents to block. You can get your own creature to block unlimited amount of creatures that it's able to legally block that turn. It's an epic card, and I've always enjoyed the artwork, by the way. The poor little dwarf guy holding back the hordes of evil. I get it. Now, the average is $177.45 US. The market is $199 US, and it's €61.24 will get you that card. It's had a rocky past where most people don't think of this as a card that they find desirable. But guess what? It can be. Most cards in Magic can and do have uses in particular decks. You mix that in with a reserve list card that's not coming back, and you got something there. You just have to use it the right way or think of it the right way. The artwork on this card really lends to that old school feel that I think people will appreciate as this card ages. Way to go, Blaze of Glory. I can see why you're so awesome. All right, number 10 on the list today. That's right, we are talking the Candelabra of Tawnos. Now, this is an Antiquities card. Now, the reason this is on the list today is because the sales have been almost non-existent. I'm expecting this card to continue receding down in price. I can find it as cheap as $1,400 Canadian for a heavily played copy. The average is $2,000 US. The market is $1,039.80 US, and it's €1,790, 75 cents will get you that card. Now, Antiquities has an incredibly low print run of 15 million cards ever printed. That is minuscule in the world of Magic nowadays. Just next to non-existent. This card has lots of uses being a single casting cost. Imagine using this kind of card with Soldevi Excavations or a multiple producing mana thing like Mishra's Workshop or any of those type of lands, even like Tolarian Academy. This card can be a heavily abused, beautiful piece of epicness when it's allowed to. But right now it's on the recede. It's not selling. People aren't buying it. So if you keep an eye on this card, if this is a card you're after, keep a close eye or watch my channel more often. This card I expect to keep going down for the next little while, and you might be able to get a copy as low as $1,200 in the next 60 days. So keep an eye on it, because that card is just something you have to keep an eye on. So when you think of all those cards in the reserve list and the cards that go up and down, I'm not just reporting on the big, huge, heavy hitters, because that card is not for everyone. Not everyone wants to get a Mox or a Lotus. I'm sure we'd like to, but it's not on the radar of every player. When we're looking at these cards, you're looking at cards that have heavy sales or low sales, causing a rise in price or a decrease in price, which will allow you, the player, to grab copies of that card. So thanks a lot for tuning in today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure you leave a comment below and smash that subscribe button. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys each and every day. Have a great one today. Hey guys, a big shout out to all my patrons out there. Thanks again, guys, for that continued support and understanding. Reminder, this has been a switch over this month. Any patrons who are missing, please make sure to inform me in the Patreon that your name is not there so I can correct it. Thanks again. So you made it to the end. Here you are, but guess what? It's not the end. I know everyone thinks it's the end normally, but guess what? I have 2 more cards to show you, so let's check these out. That's right, City of Shadows from the Dark. $130 Canadian will get you this card in near mint condition still if you look around. And this is a watch card because I am buying it on the channel and I will continue to buy it as long as it falls within the price range I can afford. Now the average is $94.99 US. The market is $98.71 and it's €87.96 to get this card. The Dark had a very low print run, making this card hard to come by in any decent condition. I have done the tallies and guess what? Let me tell you something here. Hold on. They're low. I only got 140 copies accounted for out of this entire print run of copies. That's low. Either there's not enough people who saw that video or people just don't have copies of it out there. So guys, this copy is going to be low. It's going to be harder to track. I will keep a close eye on it and I will keep reporting on it at the end of videos like this as a secret endeavor to let you guys know what's going on, but not anybody else. No. We're not done yet. Don't worry. Of course there's Soldevi Excavations. Now this card, of course, has had a big rescind right now. It's pulling back heavily. It is $43 light played Canadian. $55 for a near mint copy in Canada. Of course, this is a watch card from Alliances. Now, the average is $33.30 US. The market is $34.77, and the European average is €20.79. Now, when it comes to Soldevi Excavations, there isn't a lot of copies out there. But this card is being... Sorry, I banged the mic there. This copy is being pulled back for no reason. I can't figure it out other than somebody trying to suppress the market, because there's no new copies really hitting the market the way they were before. So I'll be interested to see. This has fallen below the buy price I had before. So I actually, between me and you and the people who made it to the end of the video, I will start buying more copies of this card because it's below the $50 mark I said I'd be buying it at. So I'm going to start buying again, which is awesome. All right, guys. Now I feel complete. We had a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm glad I could bring this Monday video to you, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Have a great day today. This is MTG Mox, man. You guys rock. Remember that. I'm just clicking things off. Don't worry. It takes a second to find the button, find the key, and not bang the microphone. That's all it is. Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in. This is MTG Moxman here, going over my deck tech of how I play this particular deck. Now, as you can see, this is a blue, white, red deck. It has got me to Mythic already last month. I am ramping my way up right now throughout the rankings as we speak. I've got 4 Considers. I've got a couple of Depart the Realms. I got 2 Blink Dogs. I got 2 Expels to get rid of those big nasty things you need to just get rid of when it's in your way. I also have 4 Rowan Scholar of Sparks. Remember, you can use Rowan and Will, and those are both going to pump you out to make your spells cost a little bit less. You see the Elrond's Epiphany, the Doomskars and Devastating Master to wipe the board clear. The multiple choice, I only use that when I have the 5 mana, 1 blue plus 4 other, to get all 3 effects to shoot off, to wipe board clearance, to get those things off the board, as well as draw a card and put a 4/4 creature into play. The Hall of the Storm Giants is for later on in the game if I have to clear the board enough times that I have nothing else in play. Field of Ruin is to get rid of those big nasty cards they have. The Bibuloplex helps me draw. I'm using that to get to all my instants and sorcery spells in the game. Guys, it's a pretty devastating deck. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help you guys out.